What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Force Strategy Gaming. This is game number 2 here between Naugrim and Beastyqt. This time we're on the map Naugrim Altar. Naugrim spawning in the lower left-hand spawn location as our green Zerg player. And the upper left-hand spawn position, we have got Beastyqt as the yellow Terran player. Now, last game, Beastyqt opening up with some 2-racks aggression, was able to set himself up in a phenomenal position, and then push out with a secondary wave of Marines to actually take out the natural expansion of Naugrim, and that was a huge problem. Now, the biggest thing there, in all honesty, I believe, is that Naugrim was droning up and not massing up Zerglings, and he was just not prepared for that second wave of Marines. Basically what happened is that with those Zerglings at the center of the map, Naugrim didn't see any Marines coming, so he just assumed that that was it, and that Beastyqt was back at home and maybe teching up or working on his expansion, getting a few more racks, whatever. But then we saw a second wave of Marines from Beastyqt, and Naugrim had used up all of his larvae. He did not have what was necessary to actually be able to mount up a force of Zerglings, as he was instead droning up, and then he just got taken out because of that. Now, had Naugrim worked on a heavier Zergling count instead of droning up, then he could have been able to defend against that, but it just didn't work that way. And then from that point forward, Beastyqt undoubtedly had the game, set up a nice contain right outside of Naugrim's base. Naugrim attempted a Baneling bust, but all Beastyqt had to do was a little bit of micro, keep those Marines away from the Banelings, and that was it. So, that was game number 1. Here we are at game numero dos. And I'll have to see how this one plays out. We are seeing a quick expand here from Naugrim in the form of a 15 hatch, and they'll be working down for his pool very, very shortly. Actually drawing up a little bit harder before he gets his pool. You can see working up to 16 supply before he even considers dropping down his pool. Is he going to get one more, or will he go pool right now? Looks like he will be going pool at 16 supply, so there you go. 15 hatch, 16 pool. And one drone actually getting in the way. That's awful. Okay, so checking that upper right-hand spawn location, drone realizing that Beastyqt is not there. He will now be moving to the upper left-hand spawn position. One Marine rallied out to the front of the natural expansion. I would not be too surprised. In fact, oh, no, never mind. I was just going to say I was expecting a 1-racks expand with no gas, but we do have some gas being mined right now, so we will be seeing a factory instead. And this Marine coming out just in time to stop the drone, and ooh, yeah. I was going to say Naugrim may have attempted to sneak that by, but instead just hightailing it back home. So no scouting early on for Naugrim. Naugrim now knows where Beastyqt is, and that's about all the intel that he will be getting. First Marine moving down to that Zelnaga tower. Drone coming back to check for any maybe additional Marines moving down or SCVs. He probably just wanted to see what type of opening he was up against. Now, again, it is not a 2-racks pressure opening, as we are seeing a reactor with a factory coming out. So Beastyqt will be opening up with some Hellion harass here in the early stage of the game, trying to probably get a little bit of contain and also try to do a little bit of damage. Now, a little bit of Marine micro actually chasing down that one drone that he's already injured, and now turning around and trying to get that drone as well. Beautiful positioning there with his Marine. However, now that those Zerglings are out, really nothing that he is going to be able to do, and there's that full surround. Zerglings taking him out, and poor Marine corpse lying there, super, super dead. All right, then now commencing droning here at the expansion. Naugrim will be droning up. He has opened up with actually a heftier amount of Zerglings that you typically will see, opening up with 6 Zerglings. Probably very concerned about getting early game aggression like you saw last time. Now he will be pushing out with these 6 to attempt to get some scouting and attempt to push on out. And actually, he should be able to scout this expansion, no problem. And there it is, 6 Zerglings chasing down that one Marine. And the Hellions are going to be a little bit late, so the Zerglings will make it into main and get all the scouting intel they need. In fact, chasing around that SCV and delaying that expansion, this hurts Beastyqt quite a bit. Not only is he getting fully scouted, but his expansion's being delayed right now as a result. And now Naugrim knows that these Hellions are coming out, and as such responding there, getting that Spine Crawler, also getting an additional Queen. Naugrim should be all set against these early game Hellions. We do have 2 more coming on through. That expansion now continuing to get built. Map control will be going to Beastyqt right now until Speedlings hit the board. These Hellions are going to have no problem maintaining map control, and they will be pushing out just to test the front waters and see exactly what Naugrim has. So let's take a look here. Just kind of dancing back and forth right now. We'll wait to see him move on up. Is he going to go to the 3rd? Oh, he's trying to hide over here. Unfortunately, though, he is scouted out there by that Overlord, so Naugrim knows what's going on. And here it is, 4 Hellions. Second Spine coming on through. Those 2 Queens. Pretty much going to make it impossible for those Hellions to push out. But again, that does not mean that Beastyqt has to give up map control. He's going to sit out here, out front, and just basically stay there for a while. because this is going to stop most Zerglings from pushing out and trying to grab those Naga towers again up until that metabolic boost does finish. And as we can see, Naugrim is quite a ways away from that. So map control right now again will be going no questions asked here to Beastyqt. And there's that second spine crawler just finishing. Also an evolution chamber trying to form some sort of a wall off here, even if it's just a little bit, enough space for his queens to actually just sit tight in between. And actually some more Hellions coming on through. Is that just one more though? Yes, it is. 5 Hellions are in play. We have seen a swap here coming out, double Marine and Siege tank. So we will be seeing a Marine tank follow-up. And look at that, another expansion coming on through. So one more expansion coming out for Beastyqt. He's not planning a heavy push to follow up, but he is just starting to work up those Marine tank numbers. Again, maintaining map control. The metabolic boost almost done, so Naugrim will have that opportunity to push out. But if Beastyqt gets up this expansion, if he gets that up and running, he's going to be in a very, very solid position, as he has kept Naugrim onto 2 bases thus far. So Naugrim, again, hasn't moved out for any additional expansion. In fact, we just saw Beastyqt push down with that scout, checking down here just in case he wanted to see, hey, is Naugrim hiding a third somewhere? But again, as we can see, that's not the case. Here comes a Baneling Nest, another hatch, actually a macro hatch here inside of the main. Also working up to layer tech. He is done droning for the moment as he is fully saturated here on both these bases. So we'll finally be able to start working up those Zergling numbers. Spinecrawler moving down, and hilariously enough, this should be enough to actually force those Hellions away, because those Hellions are just awful against buildings. Just absolutely terrible. That is not their forte whatsoever. Does snipe the Creep Tumor though. Beautiful there by Beastyqt. That's actually quite funny indeed. Marines and a tank working down these destructible rocks, and here we go now. Beastyqt has his orbital command up, and he will be preparing to lift that off and drop it over there. We got some 1-1 upgrades coming up. Also coming out with his armory, still just on 1 racks and 1 factory, finally getting up some additional racks. You may say, why does he have so few production buildings? Well, it's obviously solely because he has come out with this expansion, and in addition to that, also coming out with these double engineering bays and that armory. Hellions moving down, actually getting a few Zerglings roasted here. Managed to do quite a bit of damage. Zerglings getting a full surround though, taking out those Hellions. Look at how weakened most of those Zerglings are though. Naugrim is sitting at some very strong Zergling numbers though. It's actually a little concerning for Beastyqt. He's going to have to be very careful with this expansion. All Naugrim has to do is scout that out, and with the Zergling numbers that he has right now, he should be able to take it out. Beastyqt trying to set up a tank line, protecting this tank a little bit here with these 2 supply depots, preventing a full surround. He's also coming out with a few more supply depots, helping to funnel Zerglings around and increase the amount of splash damage that this tank is able to do. Again, these are a lot of Zerglings moving across the map. Naugrim, now that he's finally left his base, he's like, breathing room. Let's spread some creep and get some vision of this game, huh? He's spreading full creep spread, and here come the Zergling scouts now. The tank line is getting deeper and deeper, and that gets pretty scary for Naugrim. I'm not sure actually at this point how effective this is going to be, but let's take a look. Zergling's trying to move up. They'll be attempting to stop that SCV from building anything, and actually lots of Marines here, and this is unbelievable. Beastyqt just maintains this position. Those Zerglings did no damage. Had Naugrim hit a moment or 2 earlier, he would have been in a much better spot there in terms of the amount of damage that he could have done, and walking right into that tank line, getting absolutely shelled out. Now, Naugrim will be coming out with 2 more expansions. We'll be sitting on a total of 4 bases once these are both up and running. So this is actually exactly what he needed to do to try to get himself back in the swing of things here. Now we can see so far, Naugrim is ahead. Beastyqt a little bit behind in terms of resources lost. Taking a quick look here. Beastyqt has managed to kill off quite a bit of Zerglings, though. 21 Zerglings, also managing to kill off 1 drone. Not a whole lot of action thus far. In fact, it does look like we are just extending into the macro stage of the game. But I'm really impressed that Beastyqt got this third up and running and defended it at the same time, especially since he went so upgrade heavy. And as the time goes on, this is going to play more and more in his favor. In fact, we probably will be seeing a timing push here with Beastyqt with just some massive upgrades here. Sensor tower also getting laid down, probably concerned about the transition into Mutalisk. And that obviously should be a concern because we do have some Mutalisk right over here. Looks like he had moved down and attempted to do some damage. Let's take a look. He killed off, okay, so he did kill off 3 workers. I'm sorry that I missed that, but that Thor did prevent any more damage from getting done, and we will be seeing a couple more missile turrets over here as well. Now, Beastyqt can safely sit on 3 bases for quite a while. In fact, he can work up to his max pop army with that, no problems. And he's also going to be, again, coming out with these massive upgrades. Now, the ground units here for Naugrim are at 01. Air units are at 00, though they We've got the flying attack level 1 very close to finish. Also some triple hooks coming out for those banelings, so we will be seeing Speedling Baneling Muta here from Naugrim. He is coming out with that infestation pit. We can see Beastyqt trying to drop some turrets, although those are a little late as these mutas move on in. And oh boy, that was awful. Forcing the cancel of that stim pack research as that tech lab gets sniped down. We do have those 3-3 upgrades coming out here for Beastyqt, and as Beastyqt is fanning out with these missile turrets to try to defend, had those come up a moment earlier, he would have been in a much better spot. Couple Marines protecting the resource line back here, plus that one turret. That's going to be more than enough, and those mutas forced to pull back. We are seeing more and more muta numbers, 8 of them about to pop. He is currently sitting on 10, so it's going to sit him at 18 mutas once these are all up. And that's those numbers starting to get higher and higher. Really puts Naugrim in a good position. Once he gets those muta numbers really high, it allows him to safely move in and snipe. But we are seeing more and more missile turrets getting laid down here by Beastyqt. Beastyqt will be sitting at the primary composition of Marine Tank. Again, we can see that Thor is in the mix. He's coming out with another Thor as well. And again, just massive amounts of upgrades. It's pretty hilarious to see Stimpack research this late in the game. But keep in mind, he is 2-2 and working up his 3-3 armor and weapons upgrades. That's just intense. Now here comes that Death Cloud of mutas. Let's see how much damage Naugrim is able to do. He really needs to try to do a little bit more damage if he wants to get back in this game. Because at the moment, I'm starting to feel he's behind. The biggest thing, the primary factor, of course, that I'm pointing at and referring to is going to be those upgrades. He's just severely behind in terms of upgrades, and that will really, really hurt. Once these 3-3 upgrades finish for that bile, that's going to be really scary for Naugrim once this Marine Tank push does inevitably move out. Spine crawler line getting set up here on the high ground. That's certainly going to help deter the push a little bit. Not too long, but it will deter at least momentarily. The mutant numbers getting stronger and stronger, now sitting at 22. We also have Hive Tech coming through. Couple of infestors in play in just one moment. We got 2 infestors that will be coming out. He's also trying to work up his ground units upgrades. Overlord spotting the composition here. Does get taken out obviously by all that anti-air, but at least he sees this hefty tank line and those Marines. And Zergling's actually moving across, trying to scout out any possible expansions that may be going on. Happens to catch this lone scouting Marine. Another expansion coming up over here for Naugrim. And again, Naugrim does have, will be sitting now on 5 bases once that does come through. And that hive did just finish. We'll have to see what Naugrim ends up going for here. We'll actually be going for the adrenal gland upgrade for those Zerglings, turning Speedlings into Cracklings. Oh, how scary it is. Greater Spire also coming out here. That will obviously let him to work his way up into Broodlords. That transition is inevitable and will be happening at some point. But here comes the push right now. 200, 200, 3-3 just about to finish. Also the weapons level 2 here for his mech. And this is a scary push indeed. And let's see how Naugrim is going to respond. He's got a bunch of forces down here. Speedlings and Banelings, a couple of infestors. Got mutas and some more Speedlings and Banelings over here. And, you know, Beastyqt does need to be careful to not get sandwiched because that could unquestionably happen. And, oh, no, there's going to be a counterattack right now. Speedlings, Banelings moving right into that natural expansion. We'll be mopping up some of these forces at the same time. We will be seeing Beastyqt move across the map. Here come those Speedlings, Banelings trying to get a full surround on those tanks. We'll be doing a bit of damage. Banelings rolling up into those Marines. We're able to do a little bit of damage, but I don't know if that was enough. At the same time, we have got those mutas over here for Naugrim, continuing to tear through these barracks that we're attempting to get built. I want these mutas to keep up this damage. The Marines continue to push forward and sniping out so many overlords. Look at, oh my gosh, this is awful for Naugrim. He just lost so many overlords. A couple of Banelings rolling on up, taking out a few of those Marines tanks, setting up shop here on the low ground. Marines will continue their push. A few Banelings on the high ground. Still a ton of mutas of Naugrim here inside of the natural expansion of Beastyqt. Continue to do damage, take out supply depots and everything of the like. We do have a drop going on over here. Naugrim will be losing this expansion. More Marines pushing forward. Tanks here on the low ground continue to do what they can. Banelings rolling forward. Oh, just barely popping just out of the range of those Marines. Marines will continue up their damage, and we are having the mutas still in the main, and Naugrim and Beastyqt appear to be in a base trade at the moment. But oh no, we just lost a lot of Marines there. That is not good at all. Beastyqt Marine numbers getting very, very small. He does still have his tanks up. Managed to take out this expansion. This expansion is down. He should push on this one as well. That'd be a fantastic idea. Continue to try to deal with these mutas inside of his main. We've got more and more Marines coming out. Again, just trying to steadily do damage, but the mutas are still alive and thriving. We do have a Thor that's going to be coming out in a moment as well. This is quite an intense turn of events here. Again, the Marines sniping out this expansion. They will be actually working now down to this one. However, Speedlings, Banelings, plus those infestors moving down. Fungal growth rooting them into place, allowing the Speedlings to take them out. And here comes that continued push from Beastyqt. He's still pretty set up there on the low ground, but here it comes right now. Naugrim will be attempting to break this, moving on down with his Speedlings and Banelings, taking out almost all. Yes, he gets all the tanks and the Marines, and now all of a sudden, still got Mutas inside of the main. Naugrim working through these racks right now. Gonna be taking out this one just before it finishes. And this is not looking good at all. Thor is up though. Should be helping to shoo back the rest of these Mutas. And at long last, Beastyqt has dealt with this Muta threat here. Both players though doing significant damage to their opponent. We saw 2 expansions get sniped there. And that was really, really awful from Naugrim, but at the same time, those Mutas just decimated the main base and a lot of the production facilities of Beastyqt. So Beastyqt trying to get himself back in it by coming out with a few more racks. He will be continuing to pump out these Marines, also working up some Thor numbers. We got a couple more factories getting dropped as well as 2 more racks. So this game is not over yet. Beastyqt preparing to try to land an expansion over here. I want to take another look here at how these upgrades going. We are 2-2 right now here for Naugrim. So Naugrim also working his way up here, level 3 melee attacks. He does have those adrenal glands for those Zerglings, and that cannot be understated how effective and how efficient it makes those Zerglings. They just become unreal with those full upgrades, especially if he continues and once he finishes those level 3 melee attack. That's going to be really, really hard for Beastyqt to deal with. He's going to need a solid tank line to protect those Marines. Marines dancing around right now, trying to clump up to help deal with these forces, and actually this is a major problem because Beastyqt will not be allowed to expand over here right now as we are having those Speedlings and Mutas take that out, and there you go. 1 turret was enough to force him back. Why does he not just use those Zerglings to engage? We have got 1 Marine over here trying to do a little bit of damage. Nothing going on over here, just full saturation by Naugrim. No harass at all from Beastyqt. Beastyqt, now they started to work up those numbers a little bit stronger. He's feeling confident to push out. In fact, he's got a significant advantage right now over Naugrim. That is pretty interesting indeed. I want to take a quick look at the worker count. 61 as opposed to 59. They are about even in terms of the workers lost. They're about even as well, with Beastyqt getting a slight kill advantage. While a couple Speedlings trying to even things up over here. They will get taken out by those Marines. This game is intense. I don't even know what to say. A couple Speedlings, Infestors, and Mutas over here. Again, we are just going to see continuous upgrades from both players as Naugrim tries to get his way back into it. Fungal growth going down on the Marines. That's going to allow him to take these out, mopping up as well. Oh, 1 Infestor gets dropped. That was a huge miss micro, unfortunately, there by Naugrim. He did not have to lose that Infestor at all. A couple Marines will be scouting out and taking out this expansion in just one moment. Really do not think that Naugrim has what is necessary to defend that, so it looks like he will be losing this. These Marines should be stemming up and quickly dropping it, and there it is. First taking out a couple of the workers, and then going straight for, there it is, going straight for that hatchery. Takes that out, and again is going to set Naugrim further behind here. Tank line set up right outside the bottom right of the natural expansion here for Beastyqt. Beastyqt finally able to get up that planetary fortress, coming out with a few refineries. We'd like to see another missile turret or 2 over here, just in case he does deal with some Mutas, although he probably is expecting that late game transition into Broodlords, so he may just be getting ready to deal with that. Medevac now preparing to drop, and will be actually dropping down this expansion, I'm assuming. Yes, he did scout that out, so he knows about this expo, and here comes the drop, and we'll see how much damage Beastyqt is able to do. Now, Naugrim seemed fairly passive so far. I want to see him get back in the game. He had a huge problem with just not having any resources, and his mining is just dwindling here, especially with this drop about to commence. Here it is, stimmed up Marines. Watch them tear through this hatchery. Going straight for it. We will be seeing a response over here as the Speedlings try to make it on down, but they are not going to make it up in time. 3-3 Marines just blow through these hatcheries so quickly when stimmed up. And there it is, guys. And then just lifting off once the threat has arrived. Very nice drop there by Beastyqt. That is going to help him tremendously. And all of a sudden, Naugrim sitting at nothing for mining. He's got 1 mining base basically right now. He's got this one over here, but there are not a lot of resources left, and this expansion hunting has been excellent here for Beastyqt. Now, Naugrim may try to respond, but he's going to have a hard time of taking this out with the small amount of Zerglings and Banelings that he has at the moment. We're actually also seeing a secondary command center being built. This is either going to be for another expansion or he wants a second planetary over here. I'm going to assume, though, that he will just be using this to try to get up another expo and take advantage right now of his currently strong economic lead. More Marines just kind of dancing around over here with the medevac, and he's now moving down to snipe this expansion. Let's see if he manages to get it. Will Naugrim respond in time as the Marines are making their way down? Speedlings and Banelings, that's taken care of. We do have some Speedlings and Banelings moving on over here. Some Cloak Banshees getting some snipes down, though, trying to prevent as much damage as possible. There we go. I don't think he lost too much there. It doesn't look like he did, in fact. So that wasn't too awful there for Beastyqt. And again, the Marine pressure over here did get taken care of. Medevac able to make its way back home. Want to take a quick look at unit composition. We do have 4 Broodlords in play. There's one over here. Where are the rest? We've got 3 Broodlords over here, so Naugrim will be prepared to move with those on this expansion at some point, though he hasn't yet. I think he's waiting until the proper time, but the question is, when is that going to be? Medevac moving out for Beastyqt, and Beastyqt will be continuing up this economic harass, also moving across the map here with a very large force. Fungal right on top of all those ghosts, but then he gets a return of some massive snipes there, and he gets taken out. Some more and more Fungos getting laid down, but there's so many medevacs actually able to heal up a lot of that damage. Drop over here, forcing the cancel of this expansion, and this is just not looking good as Beastyqt continues to focus down these expos, which is precisely what he needs to do. We do have the Broodlords moving down to engage, and I think he was able to get a few kills. Yes, he was able to kill off a few SCVs there. We're going to see him just continue to mine. He doesn't care, though, as he takes out this expansion. Naugrim effectively is left with almost no mining right now. He's just got not a whole lot going on. He will be trying to take out this expo. Now, do we have any Vikings in production? None in play at the moment, but 2 will be coming out. And we're going to be seeing some Stimmed Marines as well. Some massive snipes there on the Broodlord. Second Broodlord gets taken out. That one's safely out of range. But those 2 Vikings just about to pop, and then that's going to be GG for that Broodlord. Continue to move down, taking out the Extractors. Also going to be working through a lot of these workers here. And Beastyqt looks to have won the game here with just this massive expansion harass. And again, we are seeing some Broodlord harass over here, but it's really not enough. Simply because the Viking is just about to pop and should be taking it out any moment. I don't know. I don't even know where those Vikings are. I don't even know if Beastyqt knows where they are. We're going to see another expansion down here as the Broodlord try to move forward to engage his force, sitting just with massive amounts of Ghost, tanks, and a couple of Thors. And it does look like, yes, the Broodlord was finally taken care of as the Ghosts were able to land down some snipes. We have some medevacs, and those get fungal growth over there. Not a whole lot to really speak of. Beastyqt sitting up on the high ground to try to prevent any expansions from getting laid down. And once more, this game looks to be going to Beastyqt as he has maintained map control, but most importantly, a stronger economy for a longer time. Another planetary over here. He will be working down to get that saturated very shortly. Some pretty hefty Ghost numbers. 16 Ghosts, in fact, also 39 Marines. Now, those Ghosts are going to be so strong for the main point of their EMPs. Their EMPs are just unreal when you work into the late game scenarios, especially able to move forward with Cloak up and then snipe some Broodlords, snipe some Infestors. That is just very, very effective indeed. And that's precisely what we have been seeing Beastyqt do, so hats off to him. He's been doing a fantastic job in this late game. Transferring down some SCVs now over to this expansion. Again, with that economic lead, I am not sure that Naugrim is standing much of a chance. Take a look at army supply, 132 to 64. Naugrim is behind. Take a look at income. Wow, actually, he's got a fair amount of minerals right now. Where's that coming from? I do not know. He's got this expansion and this expansion. He's got fairly decent mineral gathering at the moment, but I don't think it matters because here comes the push. Banelings move forward. We saw some EMPs get laid down, some massive snipes, and although we just lost a lot of Marines, although Beastyqt just lost a ton of Marines, these snipes taking out pretty much all of Naugrim's forces. And that's probably going to be the GG at that point. Look at all those Broodlords getting mopped up. And Naugrim he's gonna get pushed in just one moment on this expansion, and this is pretty much his only mining base, and just calling the GG preemptively. Alright guys, that is going to do it here for the series between Beastyqt and Naugrim. Beastyqt mopping up 2 games to 0. Pretty intense macro game here with a lot of harass, expansion harass, and otherwise between these both players. Beastyqt did come out on top though as he was able to maintain an economic lead. Alright guys, that is going to do it here. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe. Thanks again guys. Keep watching and keep owning.